Hey everyone, my name is Kennedy and welcome to my YouTube channel, or welcome back. I just came back from therapy and today I wanted to talk about taking the wheel. Taking active responsibility for yourself and your dreams in your life. If you're working to create a new life for yourself, if you are challenging yourself to become a new person and you see this vision ahead of you of who you're becoming and you like that vision, you have to make a leap of faith into that version of yourself, into that life, into that reality. And that takes a lot of conscious willpower and conscious effort, which is why most people don't want to take the wheel for themselves. Unless you've really trained yourself and you've really done the work, it's really, really difficult to not just let society direct you to the channels you're supposed to be spending your energy on. It takes a lot of conscious effort, of cognitive effort, to constantly be in control of yourself and your choices, to make choices that are aligned with your highest good, that are aligned with that version of yourself that you are becoming. The reason that so many of us find that we're kind of waffling in between this new version of ourselves and this old version, we feel like we're stuck in limbo, is because we're trying to live both of those lives. We're trying to be both of those versions of ourselves at the same time. Think of a pair of 3D glasses. It's got one blue side and one red side, right? When you put them on, it forms this kind of mixture of an image. So let's say the blue side represents your old self and the red side represents your new self that you're stepping into. You can't live both of those at the same time. That's why it's confusing. You're getting this mixed image of who you are. You're not committing to one or the other. You're finding that it's uncomfortable to be this old version of yourself because you don't resonate with them anymore. You don't resonate with those old stories of who you used to be, those old stories of the life that you always believed you were living, that you were meant to live. You don't resonate with just those old habits and values that you had. And so you're in the process of becoming this new version of yourself. You're changing your beliefs, your values. You're actively pursuing new things, hanging around different people, making new choices. You're building this bigger, better, stronger, happier version of yourself. But there is still this weight from that old version of yourself that you're refusing to let go of. But you have to choose one or the other. So long as you continue to live both at the same time, they're going to get mixed together. It's going to be confusing, and you're going to have a hard time actually moving forward. You're going to stay stuck and intermingled between these two energies. So the name of the game is to consciously make choices that support this new version of yourself. Every single time that you choose to make a hard choice, that you choose to make a choice that supports you becoming this new version of yourself, you are taking one step forward. Think of it like this bar, and every time that you choose to take a step forward, to make a decision that supports you becoming this new version of yourself, you are ticking that meter forward just a little bit each time. Every single choice that you make has an impact on you as a person, on your life, and it may take time to show up. That's just the nature of things. So accept that it's going to take time. It's going to take time and effort, and every single one of those little choices that you make makes a difference in your future, is pulling you, anchoring you into this new reality, this new version of yourself. Every single choice that you make has an impact on you. So don't get discouraged. It will take time to see it. But every time you make that choice, you are investing in this new life you're creating for yourself, this new reality, this new you. I came across a video the other day where I saw a comment that someone had said their therapist told them that everything screams when it dies. And the video was about how whenever you're just about to reach a breaking point, and taking steps towards creating this new reality for yourself, towards being this new you. You're just about to have this insane breakthrough. Your ego and that old you is going to come back times 10. It's going to come back so strong, and it's going to do everything in its power to distract you, to pull you away, to make you sink back into your old habits, your maladaptive coping strategies, your old beliefs, just your comfort zone. It's going to do everything it can to pull you away, because everything screams when it dies. It's not easy. And that's why so few people actually put in the time and effort to let that change happen. Because whether you like it or not, you know that this change needs to happen. That's why you feel it inside of you. That's why you're pulled towards this new reality, towards these dreams, towards this version of yourself. You know it is calling you to allow it to happen. Whenever we have the opportunity to make these new choices, say instead of going straight to bed, you're going to start doing a skincare routine before bed. And so it rolls around and it's your first or second night of starting this routine, and you're getting tired, and it's time to do your skincare routine before you go to bed. And you start kind of talking yourself out of it. I'm tired. I really had a long day. I really didn't do anything that exerted a lot of effort today. Like, I'm not sweaty. My face probably isn't that dirty. But you promised yourself you were going to do that skincare routine before bed. And that new version of yourself, that new reality that has that beautiful skin that you're looking to create, is calling you to take that action. But that old version of yourself that doesn't want to put forth the effort, that doesn't want to take a step forward, that doesn't want to hold themselves accountable to a higher standard because that scares them, because they don't think that they're capable of holding themselves to that standard, is going to try and pull you back. Because once you set that standard for yourself, once you start keeping up with that skincare routine, then you have to stay keeping up with that skincare routine. Because once we set that standard, now we know we are capable of it. And it takes cognitive effort, because you have to retrain your brain to get on board with it. It takes cognitive effort to uphold. There is this mixing between the old and the new, where the old does not want to allow the new to come in. The new is already coming in. The new is knocking at the door, just asking to be let in. But the old version of ourselves is keeping it locked, telling the new to go away. If you just allow yourself to take action on these little nudges, even if it's something that you don't normally do, even if it's something that you don't necessarily want to keep up with, listen to yourself. When you have those little pulls, those little nudges, feelings, ideas, sparks, listen to it. That's giving you a hint, that's pulling you forward towards this new reality. All you have to do is just allow yourself to answer that call. Don't let your subconscious mind, don't let those fears, don't let those limiting beliefs get in the way and block it. You're capable of upholding that new standard for yourself. And in fact, you deserve to uphold that new standard. You deserve to have that routine. You deserve to feel good about yourself in that way. You deserve to have that beautiful skin, that body that you feel confident in, that job that you enjoy, to have skill in a hobby that you've always dreamed of. Set the bar for yourself. Allow yourself to set a new standard. Because often what's on the other side of that is an incredible blessing, is an enormous breakthrough. If you find yourself getting stuck, ask yourself, what little nudges forward, what knocks at the door from your new reality that you're creating, or that is coming to you, that you may be pushing away? What are you ignoring? Where are you wanting to stay comfortable? Where are you wanting to stay small to protect yourself? That will tell you. that will tell you why you're feeling stuck. You're not stuck. You just perceive yourself to be stuck, and there is a real significant difference there. For a long time in my life, I used to have these dreams where I would be sitting in the back seat of a car, and it would be driving for a little while, and suddenly I would realize there was nobody in the driver's seat, but the car's moving forward, and I look out the windows and I realize I'm out in the middle of nowhere and I have no idea where I am. I have no way to find my way back. I have no way to figure out where I am. I'm just going off in some random direction. Who knows how far I've gone, how long it's been. And I've come to realize that that was really about my higher self trying to tell me that I was not taking responsibility for myself. It is so much easier to brush off responsibility for yourself and wait for someone else to come and save you, something else to come and save you. Some people believe it's God. Some people believe it's their other half, like the perfect partner is suddenly going to make them feel whole within themselves. Some people believe it's the universe. It doesn't matter what it is. The fact is that you have to save yourself. Nobody and nothing is coming to save you. Of course, you will be provided for by the universe. You will be provided for by your guides. You'll be taken care of, but you're not going to be saved from yourself. You have to decide and get into real alignment. Weed out all of those subconscious fears and beliefs and blockages that are keeping you from really anchoring yourself in to a place where you are ready and you truly, genuinely want this new version of yourself. You want what comes with that. You want the challenge and the joy and the new standards. You want the adventure. You want what it means to get out of your comfort zone. You want the newness, the change. It's easy enough to say that you want change, but the human brain is not wired for change. The human brain is wired for survival and comfort, but comfort can be poisonous. Even when we are in circumstances where we can see easily that we want and need better for ourselves, we need a change of pace, change of environment, change of people, change of energy, change of self. We will often still keep ourselves chained to that poisonous comfort subconsciously because we know what to expect from it. And what I'm saying is not new, it's not mind blowing. Many of us have heard this time and time again, and it's been proven animal brains have that instinct to stay comfortable, to stay safe, stay where they know what to expect. Think of the experiment with the fleas in the jar. They put a bunch of fleas in a jar, and initially they were able to jump out of the jar, but then they put a lid on it. And so the fleas only could jump as high as the lid would let them. And eventually they take the lid off, and the fleas have now been trained to only ever jump as high as the lid would let them. So they never jump out of the jar, even though they are still capable, because they don't believe that they are able to jump out of the jar. Think of that experiment with the baby elephant. They tied a baby elephant with a little piece of rope to a post or something like that to keep it stuck, to keep it from running away. And even once it got older and it was way, way stronger and far strong enough to easily break that rope and run away, because it had been trained from the time that it was young, that it wasn't strong enough, that that rope would keep it in place. It believed that rope would keep it in place. And so it never broke the rope and ran away. It stayed stuck, even though it was so much bigger and stronger, even though it was different. Things had changed. That elephant didn't know the difference. Think of a dog who's been kept in a cage, and how anytime that dog would try to come out of that cage, the owner shamed it, hit it, yelled at it. And so it was scared to leave the cage. And then someone comes along and rescues that poor dog and opens the door, and they're trying to lure it out. They've got treats, they've got toys, they've got a nice warm bed, they've got food, and that dog will not come out of the cage because it believes that the same things that happened before will happen again. Because our brains, our instinct is wired for comfort and predictability. That is why it's so difficult to move forward, to make new choices, to anchor yourself into that new version of yourself, into that new reality. It's not because you're doing anything wrong, it's because you are actively going against every bit of wired instinct in your body and in your mind. You are going against your monkey brain. You are going against evolution. And you are literally evolving. You are literally evolving as a spiritual being and as an animal when you do that, when you make those new choices. The more of us that do this, that choose to make new choices and better ourselves and go against our primal instinct for comfort and predictability, to open up and create, open up this new world, broaden our horizons, the more common that that will become in humanity. And that trait, that ability will spread like wildfire. It is evolving us, not spiritually, not just spiritually, but as a species, as an animal species. I've been working really hard on myself, on moving forward and really just taking that leap of faith forward into that new me, that new reality, taking accountability for myself, my actions, and trusting that as I move forward and continue to push myself to allow myself to take action on these things that intuitively I'm being called to do, it will pay off and I will see what I'm looking for. I had another dream recently, about a month ago, where it was similar to the one before. I was in the back seat and I was in this RV and it was driving along the highway. And I suddenly realized there's no one driving the car. So I, for the first time ever, walk up front, sit down, and take the wheel. And I notice that I don't really have a great idea of where I am, but I know that I'm going in the wrong direction. I know that I'm going past where I should be. And so I try to get over and get off on this exit, but I miss it. And so I just say to myself, well, that sucks. And I just go forward and I get off on the next exit, even though it takes me a little bit longer, and I loop around and I head back in the direction I'm supposed to be going. You will feel the difference and you will feel the challenge when you start to take accountability for yourself, for your dreams. When you start choosing that new life, when you stop choosing to be comfortable, to let yourself fall back into your old habits, your old ideas, when you don't let yourself take on that inner strength that you naturally have and move forward. I've heard a lot of people talk about how whenever they were younger, they used to feel like they were really living life. You know, life had color and vibrance and excitement, but as they've gotten older, life has just seemed to become a lot more gray and they feel disconnected from themselves and from the world. It feels like there's a pane of glass between them and the rest of the world. And that is fixable. That is fixable. I'll tell you the solution right now. The solution is learning to come home to yourself. There are so many people in the world today who have this void, this inner gnawing, this just constant tension within themselves. Something is missing, something's lacking. I don't know what it is, but I don't feel safe. I don't feel comfortable. I don't feel like I belong. And that is a sense of self, a sense of inner security that can't be replaced. It can't be given to you by a partner, by a job, by money, by material things. That is a sense of self. And you get in touch with that by listening to those little intuitive nudges that tell you to go this way on your way home from work today instead of your usual route, or that tell you to eat a piece of fruit instead of eating a piece of pizza, or that tell you to call up a friend when you find yourself thinking about them. Every time that you acknowledge and honor those little intuitive nudges, you are connecting with your sense of self. You are becoming more you. That feeling of something being missing that drives people to become addicted to substances, to harmful experiences, to gravitate towards people that aren't good for them, that drives people into depression, anxiety. that inner tension, that sense of something being missing is you. You're missing you. And that's something that no one and nothing else can replace. It's you. And you don't have to tap into it. You just have to answer the door when it comes to visit. Listen to what you like, what you don't like. Don't try to logic your way out of everything. These little nudges that are you, that are trying to tell you something, they're subtle. They don't come necessarily in words or thoughts. They're usually not logical. There's usually no logical reason for those little nudges to come up. It's usually a gut feeling, an emotion, just a little pull towards something, towards an action, towards a person, towards an energy, whatever, that you just can't really explain. It's just something that you know, but you don't know why you know, that you feel, but you don't know why you feel. And it may or may not make any sense. It may go against what you know you're supposed to be doing. Like you may feel that you're supposed to be working on a project at home, but you really want to draw instead. So draw. What you're supposed to be doing is listening to yourself. There still has to be a balance between responsibility and desire. Obviously, if you ignore every single one of your responsibilities and don't take any time to be present in real life, because even though we can control and manipulate our life, we can manifest, we can change things, we are still bound to this physical reality, which has its own rules. So take care of your taxes, pay your bills, things like that. Do what needs to be done, but honor yourself and come back home to yourself, listen to yourself, sit with yourself above all else, as much as you possibly can. And even it may come with negative consequences at times, and that's what tends to scare people. But oftentimes, that negative consequence is something that you knew deep down needed to happen. And it's a blessing in disguise. It's closing one door so it can open another for you. But if you are tired of living with that pane of glass between you and the world, of feeling like something's constantly missing, but you don't know what, it's you. It's you. You have the option to come back home to yourself at any time. Think of it as a worried parent who has seen you off traveling the world, and any time that you decide to come back home to visit, they are waiting with a warm welcome, with open arms. You will always be able to tap into this at any time you want. Now, if you're somebody that's grown up in circumstances where you didn't get to create a solid sense of self, or you found that you had to repress any sense of self that you had growing up, you will have to open it back up and tap into it as an adult. But that's not so much that you can't access it, it's more so that you're so used to not listening to your true self, to your intuition, to you, you're so used to not being you that you automatically ignore it when it comes up. So you have to learn to tune back in and listen for your own frequency so that you can recognize your own frequency when it comes up. You can recognize your own little nudges, intuitive calls, or pull towards things. But it's there, it's always there, it's always been there, it's never gone away. In fact, the more that you felt that gnawing, that misery, that sinking feeling, that feeling of emptiness and no one and nothing can fill it, the bigger you really are. The bigger that you that has stayed repressed and small and unseen all these years, the bigger that you really is. It takes bravery to embody you. It takes bravery to take a leap of faith and just trust that what This you that you have not been listening to all these years, that you've been ignoring and discounting and possibly even demeaning or bullying, actually has valuable insight and knows where to take you. It takes practice to trust. But if you learn to trust yourself, if you learn to tune in and listen, you won't regret it. You'll be taken exactly where you need to be taken. You will be shown exactly what you need to be shown. You'll meet exactly who you need to meet. Stepping into this new reality, this new version of yourself, really isn't even creating a new version of yourself. That's really kind of misleading. It's just stripping away all the false layers that you have put on over the years to protect yourself. I heard someone give a really great metaphor on TikTok the other day about this old, historic, beautiful home, but someone had carpeted over the original tile or hard floor and had painted over the original wood finishes, bricked over the old wallpaper, and there's just this gorgeous, beautiful house with so much depth and richness and beauty behind all of this just fake stuff that's been used to cover it up. It's been used to modernize it, to make it look more palatable for a wider audience. And then you go back and you break off the brick wall, you tear down the brick wall, and you strip off the paint, and you tear up the carpet that's covering the original tile. And that beautiful home is still there underneath all of that, all of those layers that were used to cover it up. Remember that you are not meant for everybody to like. You would have to compromise so much of yourself, so many of your values and who you are as a person, what you like, to please everybody. You're not meant for everyone to like. You are an exquisite, acquired taste, a finely aged wine that only those with the most sophisticated palate would appreciate, but not some amateur who doesn't, I don't know wines. Just allow yourself to take action when you feel those little intuitive nudges. Remember that it often will not make sense, and it often won't come in words. Not always, but often, if it's coming straight from the mind, it probably is from the mind. If it's coming from the body, if it's a feeling, a knowing, it's it's intuition. It's intuition. It is this calm, secure, I don't know why I know, but I know. Allow yourself to take action on it when it calls you to do something, to feel something. Challenge yourself to take one new action every day. And often it's just getting started. It's making the decision to do that new thing that is so hard. And once you actually get started, the rest is just a down, a nice, easy slope down. It's called behavioral momentum, by the way. That's a real thing. If you look it up, I also talk about it on my TikTok. But it's a real studied phenomenon. And once you get that done, you can move on. You'll probably have the motivation because you've just done something that you didn't want to do something else. It's a chain reaction, and you don't have to. You're just holding yourself accountable to one new choice every day. To listen to that intuition at least one time every day, even if it's something small, such as wearing a nice outfit out that you've bought for yourself, but you've got sticker syndrome. You're saving it for something special. So then you never wear it. If you feel called to wear that outfit out, wear that outfit out. Whatever tiny little nudge you feel, listen to it at least once a day. Remember that every time you are listening to those nudges, you are actively evolving, not just spiritually, but physically as an animal, as a species. You are going against what we are wired instinctually to do in every part of our being. And thinking about it anatomically, those neural pathways where we are used to taking the same route every time, we're used to making the same decision because of comfort and familiarity and predictability, it creates this deep valley in the brain. And so whenever you choose to make a new choice, you're having to override immediately going down that deep valley. It's very familiar that your brain automatically wants to take you down because you're so used to taking it. It's like whenever you're trying to type something on autocorrect and it just keeps trying to pull you back to the same word and you keep having to tap it every 5 seconds. Like, that's not the word that I'm trying to type. You will have to fight against it at first, but it will get easier. Every time that you make that new choice, you're making a new valley. You're deepening a new route. And you're letting this old one kind of fill itself back in. You're letting your brain prune that out. And it will take time for that to fully take effect. It does take time. That's not easy. But that's just to say, to remember that every choice you make for your betterment, to become more of yourself, to just let this old shit that you've packed on to hide yourself from the world, to protect yourself, to fit in, fall away. So that was kind of a long video and a little bit of a rant. I hope I didn't get too off topic, but I really, really hope that you gained something from this video. And if you did, a like, comment, share, subscribe, anything like that would be so, so, so helpful to me and my channel and to help me get messages like this out to more people. If you like what I've got going on, please give a subscribe, and I plan to do more videos like this weekly. I also have a TikTok account which has obviously much shorter little tidbits of stuff like this. So thank you so much for joining me today. And if you've watched this far through, I am so, so, so grateful to you. Thank you so much. Hopefully, I'll see you next time. Bye.